hardly find that at all.
Mm.
I mean, it's got to the point that people has absolutely lost their freaking minds.
Well,
and I don't know if what our government done. By the way, I'm recording this. I don't know if what our government done helped to destroy the sovereignty of this nation pertaining to giving everybody those stimulant checks. And now everybody's gotten lazy, and now they looking for a free handout. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for a free handout.
Mm-hmm. Got to.
In other words, I think it's come back and hurt us probably as much in the long run as it would have been if we'd have just done like all these other countries and let people suffer. But I don't know if you've seen this or not, but a while ago I was watching the world news, and my God, there's rumbles going on all over the freaking world, isn't it? Africa, where is it over there by Cuba? That one whole country's been taken over. I seen where Ukraine took some drones and attacked some buildings right there in Moscow.
Yep.
We got China that's itching towards wanting to go to war with Japan. We got Iran. We got instability going on right now over in Jerusalem. I mean, it's going on everywhere, Ray. It really is. It's going on, and it basically is the Bible fulfilling itself, because the Bible says that in the last days that there will be commotions and uprisings and wars and rumors of wars such as mankind has never ever heard before.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, are we ever seeing it now unfold?
That's right.
Just like you said, you're saying that Cracker Barrel has announced that they're going to go under.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go belly up.
They're closing some of the Walmart stores, several of them.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Right around here local, or is that in another states?
That's in other states mainly.
Where they ain't getting good business, or where they're losing a lot of business, or losing a lot of inventory?
Yeah, people stealing.
People stealing.
That's every place.
And you know, over in California, up towards the Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, where my niece lives, up towards Lodi and Stockton, California, my God, they claim that whole freaking city is just basically becoming dormant. They said it ain't nothing to walk around and see syringe needles everywhere.
Oh, they're giving them to them.
And yeah, they're giving them to them. And whenever it comes to the money man's getting out of there, because hell, they liable to just walk right into it don't matter if it's J.C. Penney, Walmart, the grocery store, whatever. They just walk right in and take whatever that they want and walk out, and there ain't a cotton picking thing that I guess they can do.
They did that here in Tennessee on some of the stores, and they got to where they couldn't. In fact, they shot a security man.
Trying to stop them?
He stopped them. They had a bunch of Levi's under the arm.
Yeah.
He hollered at him and run out there to stop them, and turned around and killed him.
Turned around and killed him.
Mm-hmm. He didn't have no weapon, so he couldn't shoot back. So. And the other security guard was there, just watched it. They just told him almost like, "You want to be next?" You know, they don't care.
Good grief! What are we fixing to walk off into? You know, gasoline's on the rise back again.
Oh yeah.
And there's just too much instability going on all over the world. There's too much instability. Something big's fixing to happen, and in some places it's already happening.
Well, you're talking about California. See, we got a lot of that damn COVID's coming back.
I heard that.
But they've let it come back down there. When you put people on the street with needles and shit like that, and in tents shitting around, you're going to have disease.
All kind of uncleanliness. Yep. People ain't showering. People ain't cleaning up themselves whenever they use the bathroom or whatever.
People in Chicago's got some too. People are coming, see they're coming in, and of course, some of our people have sent some of them. I say our people, the law, they sent people up there to show them.
Ray, if we do not buckle down on what's going on, just like I told you a while ago, a man less than a mile away from my house down there, I ain't gonna mention his name because I'm recording this now, basically got hit, and they went into his home and took him for everything he's worth, stole everything he's got. Of course, they done hit me. They hit me back about 4 or 5 years ago, whenever right after David died. They basically cleaned house on me. They took equipment out of the shop. They took guns. They took anything that was valuable. It didn't matter if it was a necklace or whatever. They took it. Crack, meth makers, people out of their freaking minds. And of course, if we can't get the courts to do nothing pertaining to our judges and our system, then basically me and you, we're on our own, ain't we?
Yep. And you can't shoot them, because if you shoot somebody breaking in your shed there, they put you in jail.
The only way that you can shoot them is that you got to feel like that your life is in imminent danger.
If they come out and you think they've got a gun in their hand.
That's right.
But you got to prove that when you get to court.
Well, once more, you're the homeowner, and you're the one that's going to be going to jail, and you're the one that's going to have to be on a bond, and you're the one that's going to have a hearing over what went on, and that's a bunch of BS, because you're the homeowner. You're supposed to have a right to protect your own castle. It don't say in the law book that you just only have a right to protect the inside of your castle. It says that you have a right to protect your castle. Well, how can you protect your castle if your hands is tied to the degree that you can't shoot? Let me put it this way. Whenever David was living, we had all that trouble going on down there. And they got on to David because David took a shotgun. He had a 44 in his pocket, but there was about 5 or 6 of them down there, and they were just coming down there on us just to rattle us, just to torment our lives. But David took a gun and shot up over their heads, and my God, they almost crapped down both legs, and he freaking got in a freaking automobile and run. Well, whenever the law come down there, you know what the law said? Well, that was an endangerment. Yeah. David said, "How come it's an endangerment? I'm out here in the middle of the country." He said, "Because that bullet could have lodged and come down and hit one of them guys." In other words, this got to the point that you can't even discharge a warning shot. It don't matter if you're in the city or if you're in the country, you can't even discharge a warning shot to try to spook them off. And David said, "That's a bunch of bullshit." He said, "Well, what if I took the gun and pointed it down in the ground?"
Don't matter.
What it is, the law has lost control of our safety, okay? But yet now, whenever we want to initiate that safety, they call it vigilante law, and we're going to be the ones that get in trouble because we was the ones that took the law into our own hands. Well, we wouldn't have to take the law into our own hands if the law would do what the law's supposed to do.
We lost our law up here, see, because one of them chased the guy to Fulton, Kentucky on a motorcycle doing 140 miles an hour. Instead of using that phone and calling them over and say, "Get him when he gets there."
Right.
Put some spikes out, you know. But
well, in other words, the sheriff, your chief of police lost his job.
Him and another one.
Well, was he the one that was in pursuit of this guy?
Yeah.
But they lost their job because they were trying to stop him. And as long as you're within the distance of the taillights, I thought that you could run them from here to Timbuktu. Is that not right?
Evidently not. That you're not supposed to be in heavy pursuit. You're endangering the community.
Now, that's debatable, though. That's judgmental towards what is considered heavy pursuit.
Well, if he's going 100 miles an hour and you're trying to catch him, he's going to go 140, 20, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to pull out from a side road, which they don't know.
Right.
Going to kill somebody, you know.
And then the city be held with a lawsuit, won't
That's
they?
right.
So they had to let those guys go.
If he'd have called ahead on his...
He could have probably got Martin and gotten involved to sort of stopping them, huh?
Yeah, got Martin. Martin's got. I'm sure they got the spikes. That they throw out.
Absolutely.
And of course, Fulton did too. I'm sure see you getting out of state. See.
Well, up here in Fulton, did that hospital ever open back up?
I don't think.
They shut that hospital down because that hospital wasn't making money. And that's pretty bad whenever you have hospitals going under, and whenever you have food chains going under, like Cracker Barrel, and you have places like Walmart shutting down various buildings because they can't have, profit or whatever. It's going to get bad. I don't think we've seen bad yet. Do you?
Well, I think we're going to see bad because people are going to do like you said. They're going to shoot them. I believe they'll shoot them. I believe they'll shoot somebody, like you said. They come up here and they start tearing your stuff up or stealing stuff out of your places. They say, "I'll put them in a garbage can and send them off. I'll carry them to the river."
And if it's just your word against theirs and you ain't got no camera or nothing out here,
Yep.
you may have a strong case of being able to beat it,
Yeah.
providing that you don't let your conscience get the best of you.
That's right. Well,
But you know, anytime you kill somebody, you got to live with that.
that's true.
You know, whenever I made that decision at the age of 14, that family decision toward pulling the plug on Douglas Keith, that was something that bothered me for a long, long time, and I really had to grow up and become an adult and realize, you know, Dennis, you didn't do what you wanted to do. You done what you had to do. That was a requirement. That was a family requirement that was placed upon your shoulders, and you would have expected the same thing out of him if it would have been you laying down there in a hospital brain dead. Because I don't want to suffer, do you? I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be living on a machine, do you?
No, don't aim to be if I can get a hold of the plug.
Good. Are you supposed to be able to fill out one of those, what is it, right to will or something like that?
Yeah.
And tell people what you don't want done?
Right.
In case it ever gets to that level?
But it's just according, lots of times, if they don't want it to happen in the hospital.
Well, I didn't tell you this, but I almost died Memorial Day. Memorial Day weekend, this past year, I was down at Pickwick with a group of people down there. I met up with a guy down there that had 3 mentally challenged children, and I felt sorry for the children. 2 of them are twins, and the oldest one, he's not quite as bad, but he's pretty bad. But the 2 twins, they're really, really bad to the point that if they're not on their medication, they get violent. They get hostile.
Well, that's another thing. If you don't watch, you're giving kids drugs that they don't need. It's going to cause them to want it.
Well, they've needed it all their lives. They were born mentally challenged to the point that they're twisted up. They can't hardly walk good. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only way to be able to control them. But anyways, this guy had a pontoon boat. We was doing good for the past 2 days on being out on the water. And then he invited some people to come over there. And they was kind of heavy like me. The woman, she was over 400 pounds. The man was over 400 pounds. Well, you put the cooler and everything in the cooler and all your fishing tackle and all your fishing rod and reel. You know, you basically you add 1,000 pounds onto the pontoon boat. But a pontoon boat, once more, is supposed to be one of the safest boats out there, right? Well, we done already spent about 3.5, 4 hours on the river. We done already went down by the Pickwick Dam and then went across from the dam and went on the other side and fooled around out there, and we was fishing. We was throwing out jugs and stuff. And we went to the opposite side of where Bruton and Branch is. You know where Bruton and Branch is? Down there by Savannah?
Heard of it, don't know. I hadn't been on it. No.
To me, it's the most pleasantest place on the Tennessee River because it's where basically Mississippi, Tennessee, and Alabama all join right there together. And we went to the opposite side. We throwed out about 10 or 12, 15 jugs. And the boy that was driving the boat was unexperienced. He was the guest. The owner had a fishing pole up front. He was also, you know, had a rod towards gathering up the jugs. And we was over on the opposite side where the bank was, and there was so much activity on that river that day with all them other speed boats and stuff. My God, they was kicking up waves. I know 3 and 4 foot, maybe 5 foot high.
Well, you know, row of herring.
I mean, some big waves. So we was over to the side where it was nothing but a mason, nothing but limestone wall, and where that water was hitting that and bouncing back and hitting that and bouncing back, it had created a churning effect, a swirl. Well, the boat started going down. Started going down in the front end, and the boy that was driving the boat, if he would have recognized what was going on, all he had to done was goose it because we had a 115 horse Evinrude on the thing. The thing do about 40 mile an hour on the boat, and that's with everybody on it. But he didn't do that. He just let her lug on down, and the front end went down. And whenever the front end went down, the guy that had the rod in his hand, that was the owner, he runs towards the back of the boat trying to equalize the load, right? He comes all the way back there where I'm at. Because I already said something to him about the water, or where are we taking on water? Is it the live well? What's going on? Well, he didn't know that the daggum rope had come out of the daggum boat, and it went up underneath the boat, and it caught the daggum prop, and whenever it caught that prop, it turned that motor over to the side while that motor was still in force, and the whole freaking side of the boat come up, man, about freaking 4 foot, and I thought the thing was fixing to tip completely over. And I didn't have my life jacket on, but I did grab my life jacket, and I bailed out of the boat, thinking that I could equalize the load, because the seat that I was on was the one that was taking on water. I had water taking on water up around my waist right there where I was sitting, and I would have been all right whenever I come up, in which whenever I went down, I probably went down at least 10, 12 foot, and I had to fight like